If people want to bring up God or talk about religion, I'm going to shut them down straight away. You know, open and shut case. God doesn't exist. It's obvious. Only a fucking stupid, ignorant person would full on, preach this shit, I honestly put them in the same category as pedophiles. Anybody who's religious, I put them in the same category as pedophiles. Because they're both as bad. Just, unimaginable damage that it causes. One is physical. Fucking hell, pedophiles should be literally hung the next day. They should be just executed. Death penalty. One's physical, the other one's mental. They're just as bad as one another. One's physical, one's mental. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. So the psychology teacher, somehow, told me, not to believe, and all of a sudden I listened to him, and it's his fault because I listened to some stupid teacher who's telling me this stuff instead of teaching me what he's supposed to be teaching me. That's what this woman said. She's so adorable, she's so cute, she's a great chick, and she digs me, and I'm pretty average looking, and I'm an 11 out of 10 when it comes to personality and character. When it comes to looks, I'm a pretty solid 5, maybe a 4.7 when I sort of just look kind of scruffy and I don't really do myself up. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to look good. I'm no model, which is why I don't upload videos on YouTube pretty much every day, and I just do a podcast on Facebook once a week. This face isn't made for video, ironically, because I'm an actor, but I get roles that fit my look. Villains don't necessarily look pretty. Unless you're Johnny Depp. I'm a great actor, so that goes a long way. But I've been told I'm great. Not to toot my own horn, but I've been told I'm great. Whew, I said a lot of stuff, man. But hey, that's awareness 101. That's how I am, man. The point, and then we're going to move on. My psychology teacher, it's been 13 fucking years. Okay. A 60-second conversation. It was a minute. Literally a minute. Literally 60 fucking seconds. He never brought it up again. I never brought it up with him. It was a 60-second conversation. Okay. 60-second. A 60-second conversation. So somehow those 60 seconds, that 1 minute of conversation where he presents science and he presents facts, scientifically proven facts that God, beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond any reasonable doubt, which is how they determine things that are not, 100% utterly accurate because they're unable to be, but beyond a reasonable doubt, like in a court of law. Is someone guilty? Beyond reasonable doubt. Did you see the person stab the other guy in the fucking chest? Well, no, but all evidence points to it, beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond reasonable doubt. So they throw the book at him. So the book has been thrown at God as being propaganda as horseshit for quite a while now. And he, in 60 seconds, offered me facts. Now, what I decided to do with that conversation in those 60 seconds was entirely up to me. He didn't have the intention of, switching me to a non-believer. He just fucked if he cared what I went and did afterwards. 60 seconds of him telling me he's an atheist, why he doesn't believe in God, why he's certain he doesn't exist, and he presented scientific evidence. So basically, 18 years I've been force-fed religion. 18 years compared to 60 seconds. Did he really get me to become atheist and turn my back on God in 60 seconds? Think about it, people. 60 seconds versus 18 years. I had Jehovah's Witnesses at my fucking door. They never fucking leave you alone. Alright, they always come to your door 3 or 4 times a year. I had them outside for 20 fucking minutes and I couldn't get rid of them. And they were preaching, Jehovah, and for 20 minutes I had them out there. I couldn't get them to go. And sometimes I sit there and I just listen to them because it's entertainment. But I had them in my ear for 20 minutes. Alright, and not just once. And those 20 minutes, if I thought what they're saying was correct, what they're saying made all the sense in the world, wouldn't I become Jehovah? But obviously, Jehovah's Witnesses, aside from Muslims, which I'll get into in another edition, and I fucking will cover it, Jehovah's Witnesses are the second craziest batch on fucking earth. The second craziest batch of people you can find. But no, I didn't listen to them. I had 18 years in my fucking ear, both fucking ears, mate, of fucking religion growing up. And this guy who spent 60 seconds talking to me on his own belief. I was fortunate enough and intelligent enough, and I am very educated. I've got a really high IQ, and not like you need it. It's common fucking sense. But I made something out of that in 60 seconds, and I came, to the realization that God doesn't exist. 60 seconds, 20 minutes, 18 years. You'd think that the 18 years would whoop ass over 20 minutes, and goes without saying, 60 freaking seconds. So if people who know me want to, bash the psychology teacher who gave me a 60-second, it wasn't even a pep talk, it was just expressing his own beliefs like everyone else does out and about, and we all can sit there and respect them. And I have very little respect for religious people because of the ignorance they carry and pass on to others. If there's an outbreak of a virus, are you going to support a person who goes and gives it to everyone else in the fucking town? No, you're not. You know what I mean? It's like this woman on the phone, lovely chick. Hopefully I can marry her, but I don't know if she'll have me now, which is a shame. This lovely girl, and she has a great heart, and she's it's absolutely adorable. She's just like me when it comes to everything. I don't know how the fuck she even got into God, but whatever the fuck. It's like I said, people find Jesus when they fucking have a midlife crisis, or even a crisis from, it's usually a midlife crisis, like when they're young, they couldn't give two fucking shits, but then they find Jesus. Anyway, fucking hell. Amber is gone outside into the lounge. He's just on his phone. So I think it was a good exit for him, just let me talk and I'll be done in like 3 hours. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, 18 years. And then in 60 seconds, they reckon some guy got to me. No. You know what got to me? The truth. The facts. Not some psychology teacher. Okay? But that's just another ignorant response from ignorant people. What do you do? I go to my friend, I say to her, how can you support God? I go, do you support the babies that are slaughtered? Do you support the babies that are molested and slaughtered? I'm fucking brutal. I cut sick. I say it exactly how it is. I don't fucking hold back. I don't fucking hold back at all. And she's like, no, of course I don't support. What are you talking about? I go, no, but you support God, and He allows it to happen. It's like, a pedophile goes and molests children. and fucking kills them, so they don't go running and fucking talking, you know, and they can get prosecuted. They roam the streets and they go all over the place. They fucking rape kids and kill them. Okay, do you support a pedophile? No, obviously, duh, so why do you support God? You know, pedophiles do something that is unimaginable. God does something that is unimaginable. He watches and he does nothing to stop it. So you'll hate a pedophile, of course, you know, but you won't hate God. You won't ever understand a pedophile because they can't be understood. They're sick fucks, and they'll, you know, even a whiff of them thinking that way towards children, they should be just shot on the spot, shot right in the head. You know, just a bullet in the brain immediately. So, you know, you won't love a pedophile, and you know what he's doing is just so fucking wrong. You know, it's beyond comprehension, and it's just completely unimaginable. But you'll love God, you'll preach God, and you'll, you know, always understand God. Yeah, but he allows all this shit to happen. He's exactly like the pedophile, but you love him, and then you hate, you know, the pedophiles and, you know, the murderers, you know, and all the people that want to do harm, all the bad people. Like, you'll hate all of them in society, but you will always love God. You always have God, you know, and he allows all this shit to happen. He stands over and watches all this shit happen. God doesn't exist, but, you know, talking fiction, if I was to make sense of it, you know, fictitiously speaking, that's how it would be. Fictitiously speaking, that's how it is with this character God. Like, he stands over, watches everything. We don't know why he doesn't, you know, stop all these things from happening. She goes, I don't know, you know. But it's unfair to judge me because I don't know. What do you mean? What is there to know? What is there to know apart from that God doesn't exist and is a fairy tale? You know, it's honestly, religion is a mental illness. It is. It is the biggest mental illness, and there's no fucking medication for it. It's just illogical. Absolutely illogical, irrational, and fucking stupid. And all of that is what I find enormously offensive. So if I offended you, tough. You don't offend me with horse shit, I don't offend you with facts.
Why should they take offence that I don't believe in their God or any other God? And I'd say to them, you know, tell me the reasons why you don't believe in all the other gods, and that's the reason I don't believe in yours. I see some of these religious fundamentalists saying that they've told their 5-year-old children that if they turn out gay, they will burn in hell. That to me is child abuse.
Some myths deserve to be broken apart out of respect for the human intellect. That no, when you're writhing on the ground and froth is coming out of your mouth, you're having an epileptic seizure. You have not been invaded by the devil. We got this one figured out, okay?
Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish, where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
Just because they're offended by someone being gay, it doesn't mean they're right. You know, it's a strange thing that, because being gay is a choice. No, being gay isn't a choice. You know, I want to go, well, go, you try it then. If it's a choice, have a go. See how much you like it.
If you knew nothing about science and you read, say, the Bible, the Old Testament, which in Genesis is an account of nature, that's what that is. And I said to you, give me your description of the natural world based only on this. You would say the world was created in 6 days and that stars are just little points of light, much lesser than the sun. And in fact, they can fall out of the sky, right? Because that's what happens during the Revelation. One of the signs that the second coming is that the stars will fall out of the sky and land on Earth. To even write that means you don't know what those things are. Everybody who tried to make proclamations about the physical universe based on Bible passages got the wrong answer. Right. So what happened was, when science discovers things and you want to stay religious, or you want to continue to believe that the Bible is unerring, what you would do is, you would say, well, let me go back to the Bible and reinterpret it. Then you'd say things like, oh, they didn't really mean that literally, they meant that figuratively.
I say, fine, pray for anything you want, pray for anything, but what about the divine plan? Remember that? The divine plan. Long time ago, God made a divine plan, gave it a lot of thought, decided it was a good plan, put it into practice. And for billions and billions of years, the divine plan has been doing just fine. Now you come along and pray for something. Well, suppose the thing you want isn't in God's divine plan. What do you want him to do? Change his plan? Just for you? Doesn't it seem a little arrogant? It's a divine plan. What's the use of being God if every rundown schmuck with a $2 prayer book can come along and fuck up your plan? And here's something else, another problem you might have. Suppose your prayers aren't answered. What do you say? Well, it's God's will. Thy will be done. Fine, but if it's God's will and he's going to do what he wants to anyway, why the fuck bother praying in the first place? Seems like a big waste of time to me.
Okay, just think about the Muslims at this moment who are blowing themselves up, okay, convinced that they are agents of God's will. There is absolutely nothing that Dr. Craig can say against their behavior in moral terms, apart from his own faith-based claim that they're praying to the wrong God. If they had the right God, what they were doing would be good on divine command theory. Now, I'm obviously not saying that Dr. Craig or all religious people are psychopaths and psychotics, but this to me is the true horror of religion. Okay, it allows perfectly decent and sane people to believe by the billions what only lunatics could believe on their own. Okay, if you wake up tomorrow morning thinking that saying a few Latin words over your pancakes is going to turn them into the body of Elvis Presley, okay, you have lost your mind. Okay. But if you think more or less the same thing about a cracker and the body of Jesus, you're just a Catholic.
Probably going to be the most simplest one for you to answer, but what if you're wrong?
Well, what if I'm wrong? I mean, anybody could be wrong. We could all be wrong about the flying spaghetti monster and the pink unicorn and the flying teapot. You happen to have been brought up, I would presume, in the Christian faith. You know what it's like not to believe in a particular faith because you're not a Muslim, you're not a Hindu. Why aren't you a Hindu? Because you happen to have been brought up in America, not in India. If you've been brought up in India, you'd be a Hindu. If you were brought up in Denmark in the time of the Vikings, you'd be believing in Wotan and Thor. If you were brought up in classical Greece, you'd be believing in Zeus. If you were brought up in Central Africa, you'd be believing in the great Juju up the mountain. I mean, there's no particular reason to pick on the Judeo-Christian God in which by the sheerest accident you happen to have been brought up, and ask me the question, what if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong about the great Juju at the bottom of the sea?
Science is constantly proved all the time. You see, if we take something like any fiction, in any holy book, in any other fiction, and destroyed it, okay, in 1,000 years' time, that wouldn't come back just as it was. Whereas if we took every science book, right, and every fact, and destroyed them all, in 1,000 years, they'd all be back, because all the same tests would be the same result.
That's good. That's really good.
So
That's really good.
I don't need faith in science. I don't need faith to know that probably if I jump out of a window, every other time someone jumped out, they smash to the ground because of this thing called gravity. What I loved about Jesus was he was kind, and he was brave, and I thought he was amazing. And I thought he was brilliant, like just a brilliant guy, you know. So I was about 8, and my brother must have been 19. He came in once, and I was doing something from the Bible, and I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, drawing Jesus." And he went, "Who was Jesus?" And I said, "Well, he was the Son of God." He went, "Why do you believe in God?" Right? And my mum went, "Bob, shut up." And I knew she had something to hide, and he was telling the truth. And I knew from body language. And then I worked it out, and I was an atheist in an hour.
In an hour?
Yeah. It's true.